People of Los Angeles, how do you do? I am the cranky preservationist. I'm a little cranky today. I want to talk to you a little bit about the Chili Bowl. See that? The Chili Bowl. It is born in Silver Lake in 1935 and then moved to greener pastures, Pico near Centinela, and Sawtell in 1939. If you don't know what the Chili Bowl is, go get this book. It'll tell you all about programmatic architecture. There's an entire section in it just about chili bowls and how incredibly important programmatic architecture is, and mimetic architecture, roadside, whatever you want to call it. What happened to the days I could go eat in this teepee or in this hat or whatever? There are very, very few of these wonderfully Los Angeles style of mimetic structures left. And one of the very last is, of course, our friend, the Chili Bowl. But here is where the story gets ugly. Our great grand Chili Bowl with its original structure and its signage. I mean, the thing is like bizarrely intact. Some people will tell you it's not. They lie. Lying bastards. This is a story of lying bastards and the lies they tell. So the owners, Usha, Rohit, Jain, they own this, they own that. They want to tear it all down. And they are aided in their good works by, abundant housing. These lying YIMBY density brown shirts called abundant housing, which makes it sound all nice, like they're just trying to give good housing to poor unhoused Dickensian street urchins, and they're not actually a cabal of evil developers. And they're all hot to tear it down because it's in the way of this 24-unit Jenga box. They say they're obsessed with how this thing is going to be TOC. I'm sure you are familiar with the notion of TOC, the transit-oriented communities. That is the thing by which the city allows developers to throw zoning out the window and build as big as they want because it might have like 2 affordable units in it. But here's the kicker. Literally doesn't exist. There is nothing on file for this TOC 24-unit structure. There are no renderings for it. Just doesn't exist. But they're like, no, we have to tear this down immediately because it's a chili bowl and it's in the way of the 24-unit. Absolute nonsense. So across the street, just across Wellesley Avenue to the west on Pico, where these structures are, this wonderful groovy liquor store and adult bookstore where I spend all my time. No, I don't. They actually have these plans for a 65-unit, not abundant housing, but the Jains, and they filed them in 2017. It's 5 years ago. And what finger have they lifted to actually bring this into fruition? None finger is what finger? So which leads me to wonder what the big rush is. Why are we going to tear down the Chili Bowl when these people have something just across this little alleyway? And it's taken them 5 years to do, well, basically nothing. Abundant Housing LA is going on about the only reason why some people are all of a sudden interested in the historic value of this site, because there's nothing historic about it. It's not like we didn't write an entire giant book about the subject, is because a 24-unit apartment building has been proposed there. Because we hate housing. We don't think that the Chili Bowl is cool and important. We just hate housing. Thank you, Abundant Housing LA, for pointing that out. I can't believe you found us out. Oh, you guys are good. Oh, boy. Anyway, let's see. So public comment, and they get all their little buddies to write in stuff about oh, my God, the Conservancy is a bunch of NIMBYs. And this place is just junky, and it doesn't even look like an original Chili Bowl when it's, of course, just bizarrely intact. And there it is. And this is it compared to, this is a Schulteis photo from LAPL. The fact that it even retains its original signage is totally incredible. And so council member Mike Bonin, of course, opposed making it a landmark. It has now had its demolition permit filed. But he and his staff has still been open to working with the property owner to move the Chili Bowl from Pico to somewhere where it can be safe and a new use can be found for it. But nevertheless, the backhoes and men with sledgehammers and people with pitchforks, everybody hates the Chili Bowl because it's so cool and unique in LA. And YIMBYs hate anything that might possibly remind someone who lives here of the greatness and grandeur of Los Angeles, because they need to make it as bland and innocuous as like a suburb of Ottawa or something. I don't know why I'm always picking on Ottawa, but just, the lowest common denominator. That is the YIMBY fantasy, a world without trees and chili bowls. Because they do kind of have an obsession with removing anything special about Los Angeles. And the reason I live in Los Angeles is because it's full of amazing special things. Not only that, but they baked their beans backwards. So you only hiccup. Isn't that amazing? This is the only place you could ever have that happen. So this is during a recent site visit. They actually tore down much of the overgrowth. So you can actually see the chili bowl better. It actually looks much more like when it was just being built, like that picture right there, just as it was under construction. So pretty incredible stuff. Here's a recent site visit. So the Cultural Heritage Commission looked around and said, oh my God, this is totally intact. It's amazing. And yet, nevertheless, this poor girl is looking to be demolished at some point in the near future. So, you might not agree with Friends of the Chili Bowl about preserving this weird, remarkable, wonderfully Los Angeles little structure. But unlike abundant housing, we at Friends of the Chili Bowl will never lie to you, waste your time and make you look foolish. And the truth is there's no pressing reason to demolish the Chili Bowl. So, so for you YIMBYs out there watching this, why don't you call or email Mike Bonin and ask him to move it to safety, and then hope that eventually the owner will file plans with the city to build that phantom 24-unit residential apartment project on the spot. And then everyone, you, us, them, will have gotten their wish. I'm the Cranky Preservationist. I thank you. Chili. We need chili. Excuse me.